time for Cigar Talk, the fastest growing cigar show in the nation. Whether you're a new cigar enthusiast or a cigar aficionado, we have something for everyone, bringing you the best interviews, cigar reviews, and weekly giveaways. So grab yourself a cigar.
It's time to light 'em up.
Welcome back, Cigar Talk. I'm your host, Rob Jones. We got our co-host, Bryant Falconer, in the studio. How you doing today, Bryant?
Hey, man, I'm doing good,
Nice. So before we get started with the show, I want to take this time to personally say thank you to all of our Patreons.
Yes.
We got some really cool new microphones, and we owe it all to them because those guys support us every month financially, and it's just been a blessing. So anyway, this is our first episode with these new mics.
Yes, sir.
And so hopefully that's going to be well received. I'm hoping the quality goes up. I'm hoping that the editing time goes down. So we just want to say thank you to all our Patreons. You guys have been a huge blessing to us, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
So let's get to what you're smoking.
Today I am smoking Dia de Gloria by AJ Fernandez.
Good smoke, man. Yeah, that's a real good smoke.
It was my pick for the day out of my luxury cigar box Christmas gift.
Very nice.
Yes, sir. Man, lit it with the cedar that came with it. Oh, God.
What's funny is I was talking to Chris from Luxury Cigar Club earlier, and I was telling him about last month, like 3 days before the end of the month, you've still got 4 of your cigars. And we were talking about, this month, and I said, how long do you think it took me to smoke those cigars? He's like, I don't know, about a week. And I was like, dude, 2 days.
Yeah.
You know what? I had a bottle of scotch, and I had some damn good cigars.
Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir, man. Hey,
we'll get to the winner of the Luxury Cigar Club later on the show, but we do want to say thanks.
100% thank you. Yeah.
Those guys do a great job.
Because this Dia de Gloria, man, the cedar, the cocoa, man, that spices, bruh. This second retro head, I was like, oh, yes.
Right. So anyway, talk about what I'm smoking.
Yes,
I
sir.
actually went down to Dallas this last weekend.
Okay.
And went to the Renegade Cigar Lounge. You guys know it. We did a show there a few weeks back.
Yes, sir.
And anyway, they have some of their own blends at their cigar. And, a lot of shops have the house blend. That's
Yes,
not
sir.
what these are. These are cigars that they go down to the Dominican Republic and blend themselves, and then they have them as a limited run cigars. And I got to tell you, man, this is fantastic. I almost feel bad I didn't bring you one.
Almost. I heard that
That's right.
first part.
So, and I'll tell you what's really cool is they had a couple of other blends there that Brandon Hayes has done, and the first one knocked my socks off. And
And you almost didn't bring that either.
No,
did
you know what? I did bring you one.
Oh.
And then I smoked it. So I did think about you.
For a quick second.
So anyway, the line of cigars that he's doing, and they're only available at his shop.
Okay.
He's doing like a rock and roll tribute. The cigar that I love is called the Hendrix.
Oh.
Yeah.
What size is that one in?
I believe it was a 46 by 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I was talking to Brennan about this, and that's what this is. It's a 46. I've gotten to where this is my go-to size.
Okay.
Man, I'm loving the complexity that I'm getting from these smaller ring gauge. I've just really loving them.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Taking
the
that
other
Texan up out of you real quick.
Oh,
Bigger
yeah.
is better.
Yeah. Yeah, because I gave you that stick last week that it's called the Texas Lancero. I think it's a 7 by 70.
Dude, that thing took 2 football games to smoke,
that
man.
thing is so ridiculous.
And then I still had almost 2 inches left when I put it down. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Dude, that's what I only smoked one of those.
You can't only smoke one.
And it was hard. Yeah. In fact, I smoked it up at the Leaf, and I mean, it was just like, me and Jay both smoked one together.
Yeah, and it took y'all still 2 hours, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did. No, we didn't share.
Okay.
I brought him one as well.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we weren't sharing
Hot
this
boxing.
cigar. So anyway, tonight I'm smoking from the Renegade Lounge the number 8.
Okay.
and fantastic stick. I had one of those while I was there as well, and these are limited. I think they only do like 150 boxes or maybe 100 boxes. And anyway, he's getting ready to come out with the 9.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what that's going to be. But anyway, really cool shop. Oh, the other one that they have is the Connecticut, which is called the Cobain. Now, I didn't say this to Brandon, but here's the thing. Cobain does not belong in the, same breath as Hendrix.
Yes. Nowhere near.
I don't know if I've shared this theory with
Grunge
you.
rock.
I don't know if I've shared this with you.
What's that?
Kurt Cobain single-handedly killed the rock and roll that I loved. Are you aware?
He was speaking to a different genre, man.
I get it. He created a cool genre.
Yeah.
And you know what? I even like some of his music. I'm not going to knock his music.
You said, but it just destroyed
But it killed rock and roll is what we knew rock and roll to be.
Yeah, because it's definitely changed.
Dude.
It is definitely changed.
Go back in time. Here's rock and roll, okay? Opening, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, guitar solo, verse, and then the outro.
Yeah.
That's done. Nobody does that anymore.
No.
The guitar solo died.
Yes, it did.
And that breaks my heart because I loved a really good guitar solo. You know what I mean?
I am a fan of that also.
Hey,
man.
speaking of music, last week's episode.
Yes, sir.
So last night, I revamped the whole studio as you've seen. I'll post pictures on Instagram for you guys.
The house has been renewed.
Yeah, we've changed the whole studio up, and I'm liking it a lot better already.
Me too.
But
Spacious.
what I was going to say is, last night when I got done, I think it was about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, I sat out here and I listened to the music that you put up on the show. And I got to say, I enjoyed it.
What?
Yeah, I know. You know what? When you do something right, I'll be the first one to tell you. This is just the first time I've ever been able to tell you.
So you putting that out there now, huh?
No, but you know what? I would say it wasn't music that I would be like, oh, I'm going to listen to this. But after I listened to it, it's like, you know what? That was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
That Marshmallow guy.
Yes.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, that is like a mix between some kind of something and country.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I listened to that the first time, and I was like, wait a minute. Is this Marshmallow for real?
I never even heard of Marshmallow.
I listened to the whole song, then I had to go listen to it again. And when I listened to it again, I said, man, this is country-ish.
It is.
And I like it. Yeah. I was like, I can't let people know that, though.
Well, you know what's funny is I listened to a whole lot of music last night, and I'm usually very anti-new country. You know that already. And I will say this, though, by just letting Spotify randomly pick some musicians, I ran across a few musicians that I was like, you know what, that's not bad.
Okay.
And so I will say that Spotify threw some, what's that guy's name that's on The Voice, that country? Oh, Blake Shelton.
Yeah.
And I said, Spotify, you know me better than that. Turn that crap off. So anyway, I just want to give you props because I like the selection that you did this week.
You know what? I can truly appreciate that, sir. I truly can.
And it was completely far out from anything I would have predicted that you brought to the table.
This is on tape. I am going to run this forever.
Hey, you know what? Record this and you can put this on your ringtone.
Yes, sir. That exact phrase.
All right, guys. So let's talk about McAuliffe. That's our sponsor. You guys know we love these guys. Yes. And, you know what? Actually, this is 2 weeks in a row that I wasn't smoking a Medallia.
On the show.
Yeah.
That's correct.
I got on that big kick. But I will tell you this. Before we started the show, I was at the Leaf with Ed, and we were both smoking Medallias. Yeah, I actually had the Medallia, and then I bought one of those petite My Father 1922s, the Le Bijou 1922. Yeah. Great smoke. Yeah. But I tell you what, the Medallia, it just, I'm dialed into that cigar, and I can't get enough of it. And I would say probably I don't. You know what? I can't even estimate how many medallions I've smoked in the last week, because
yeah.
then people might want to know how many cigars I smoke every day. But anyway,
and they would be astounded by that.
and I just want to say this: if you guys haven't tried the Medallia, you've smoked the other McAuliffe cigars, you know they're good.
Yeah.
If you haven't had the opportunity to smoke the Medallia, that's one that I highly recommend you put on the top of your list, because I think it's going to be a top 25. I think it could be even better than top 25. I think maybe even top 15, maybe top 10.
Yes, sir. And if it isn't, the votes have been skewed.
Well, I don't really know how they do all that.
I'm going to pitch a fit. As my grandmother used to say, I'm going to pitch a fit.
Right. And, you know, the thing about it is I don't know how all that works. And in the past, I've always said, you know, oh, I'm sure just whoever's paying is on the list. And I don't know if that's true or not, but that's how I've always felt about the top 25. But that being said, every year when the top 25 comes out, I'm like all over it.
Yes,
you know
all
what I mean?
over it, 100%.
So it's like your hopes and dreams either get blossomed or smashed.
Smashed right in the face.
So, you know, even though I knock them, and I think that's just like being in a cigar shop, that's what we all do, you know. It's like, oh, that list. Nobody. But then as soon as they start announcing cigars, and, you know, they release them at like the first 10, and then the second 10, and then the top 5.
Yep. And then you're sitting there like, it made the top 5. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, we want to say thank you to McAuliffe Cigars, and
always.
You know, so far I haven't had a stick of theirs that I didn't like. And
you're stuck on the medallions. I'm stuck on those torcedores.
Dude, I saw you posting them, and you know, I went out of town last week in the middle of the week, and I swung by, and I was paying cash for cigars, so I didn't have. I don't carry a lot of cash usually, and anyway, I only had $20. So $20 isn't going to buy you a lot of cigars. No. You know what I bought?
What?
4 torcedores.
Yes, sir.
And that was enough for my trip. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't enough for my trip, but I already had like 4 cigars in my travel case. So adding those 4 sticks, and they were great smokes, man.
Yes,
I sat out on the patio, nice evening. Which last time I went, I stayed at the Garden Inn, and then they have a great patio. Man, they got nice furniture. It's comfortable, and you can just sit out there and smoke cigars. And the cool thing is, usually when I go out there to smoke, I run into another cigar smoker, and then we automatically bond, and then we have great conversation.
The community again.
Yeah, absolutely. So hang on one second, because I got to get my cigar lit.
Yeah.
I got my cigar going, and I got to tell you, Brennan has done a great job.
Yes.
I let Bryant just have a taste of this, and what do you think?
Hey, man, that's a great stick. It's got a nice taste to it, and it's something I'm trying to figure out. It was mixed with that spice on my retro head. I'm like, what is that?
I get a nice leather tone from it.
I tasted that, but it was something different. I can't figure it out.
I'm thinking that the leather that you're tasting on here is the cows specifically from Indonesia.
Not a Kobe.
Right. So anyway, I was reading an article earlier today about what's his name?
Nick Jonas.
Nick Jonas was on the cover of Cigar Aficionado with a cigar, and apparently he got tons of backlash from public opinion because, you know, first of all, they think that because he's a singer, he's a role model. No, dude, if you're a singer, you are not a role model. And if your kids look to singers as role models,
I subscribe to what Charles Barkley said. I am not a role model. Just because I'm in the
public eye.
I am not a role model. I'm still just a regular person. And here's the issue I have with it. Everybody has their opinion. Okay, you can have your opinion. But trying to change people's minds. Cigars are not like cigarettes. Stop.
Exactly. Stop. Well, the funny thing is, I was reading, and I had to look up to see who this was. Meghan McCain, which apparently turns out to be Senator McCain's daughter, is on a talk show called The View. And so she actually was like supporting him being on the magazine and holding a cigar, smoking a cigar, whatever.
Way to go, Megan. Way to go.
And, you know, she says, we're adults. And, you know, she said, and I don't agree with this, but she said, you know, you can't take all my vices away.
Yeah.
I don't look at cigars as a vice.
Me neither.
You know what I mean? Because
I
think the word vice is a negative term.
It's a negative
It's like
connotation.
something that I can't do without, and I can do without cigars.
Or it's something that you're not supposed to be doing.
Right.
And that's not what it is.
Right, exactly. And so, but I appreciate that she stood up for his rights, because the bottom line is it's his right to do whatever he wants to do.
Tell the truth.
And when she actually went a step further and posted a picture on her Instagram account smoking a cigar. And a lot of people were bashing her on the comments. And one of the comments said, you can get throat cancer from cigars.
Nope.
And it's like, no, you can't. And I'm not a doctor, okay? But it's kind of like Blanco said on his interview. There's not one death certificate ever that says cause of death cigars. Ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and let's look to Robert Overton. 112 years old.
And smoked.
Not 102, 112.
And smoked how many per day?
Right.
And his glass of whiskey.
Right. Keeps a man young.
Yeah.
Keeps a man young.
Oh, man. You take that away, and then what do you have to look for?
Right. So, and the whole reason I wanted to bring all that up with, because I don't keep up, I don't keep up with who's who. I didn't know who Megan McCain was, and I barely remembered Jonas. What's his name?
Nick Jonas.
Nick Jonas. He was in some boy band, I believe.
With his brothers.
Okay.
Jonas
the Jonas Brothers.
Yeah.
That's right. So anyway, all that to be said, I don't really care what any of those guys do. The bottom line is it's our right to make adult decisions.
Tell the truth.
And so that'll lead us into our my little soapbox that you guys know I'm always on.
He slid it out.
You got to join Cigar Rights of
100%.
America. And, I haven't talked to Casey that was on last week, but I got to follow up with him and make sure he joined. He said he was going to join. You remember?
Yes, he did.
So, and then I know Nye is also in the process of joining.
Okay.
So if you
Come on,
guys
Nye.
are out there listening to the show, join. That's all I got to say. That's not really all I got to say, but that's all I'm going to say for now.
For right now.
Right. So anyway, and also I wanted to talk a minute because I'm a big fan of the charity Cigars for Warriors,
Most definitely.
because you just don't know how important it is for those guys to get some downtime, some relaxation time. And I know because you were in
most
the
definitely.
service.
Yes.
But man, look at how valuable it is for you to decompress. And it's not even so much about the cigar as it is that you and your brother or sister are hanging out, smoking a cigar and relaxing and forgetting where you are.
Most definitely, especially sitting in the middle of Afghanistan somewhere, and all day long you're worried about your life, and then for someone home to think enough about you to send you a box of sticks, some cutters, some matches, lighters, and you could just sit back and just, for that moment, the military doesn't exist anymore.
And something else, we had Storm from Cigars for
Yes.
Warriors on the show, and they don't just do cigars.
No, they don't.
They also send those guys like some video game consoles,
Coffee.
They send them magazines.
Yep.
They send them coffee. And so what I'd like to look at it is when you're overseas and you're away from your family, your friends, you're away from America, when they take the time to send you these things, it's a taste of home.
Yes, it is.
You know what I mean?
It gives you that opportunity to just relax, because you tense all the time.
Right. But even though you're relaxing, it's almost like the nostalgia of you going by your old house when
Yes.
you were a kid.
Yes.
When you get something in the mail that takes you back mentally home, what a blessing that must be.
Mail call was the most joyous and sometimes the most disastrous
Well, you didn't
time.
get nothing, huh?
Yeah, didn't get nothing.
Oh.
You got those Dear John letters.
Oh, yeah. No.
But, even in those situations, that's when the camaraderie and not just the brotherhood, but, members of the same guild as military people, you come together and we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We're gonna
yeah,
make it.
yeah.
And the opportunity for someone at home just to think about you enough to donate. I was sitting there and Colonel Stan, he bought almost half a box to donate. And I just sat there and I looked at him, and it brought a smile to my face because he's been in almost. I truly believe he's been in every war when you talk to him.
I think he was in World War I.
Yeah. All the way up to Desert Storm.
Right.
But and to see him and his response was, he said, I remember how it was when I was over there. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah,
that's what
also,
it's about.
And I wasn't in the military. I didn't serve. I have so much respect for everyone who has. But what I also want to say is I can only imagine that when you're overseas, I know you're with your brotherhood of servicemen and women.
Your battle buddies and
but
everybody.
That being said, how many times do you find yourself completely lonely?
Oh, most definitely.
You know what I mean?
Even with people around you.
And then someone is to take the time to send you a box of cigars.
To say, I care.
Right.
To say, I care.
And so that just lifts your spirits so high because you went from feeling alone, like you've been forgotten by so many people because, you don't have the opportunity to talk to those people every day. Or at least you used to not to. I don't know how it is now with new technology.
Oh, my God. I'm not going there.
All right. So, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that being, 8,000 miles away, you have a sense of loneliness because you're away from the people that you know and love.
2 or 3 continents away, and now you sit in the middle of nowhere, and somebody's out there that doesn't want you to go home, but here's somebody from home that cares enough about you to send you something, to send you a care package, to let you know, hey, we still love you, we still care about you. Hey, I understand. I know you're there.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. So on this episode, if you go down below on the links, we'll have a link to Cigar Rights of America for you to sign up, and then we'll also have a link if you'd like to support Cigars for Warriors.
Yes.
I think that's a great cause, and we want to be supportive of them 100%.
Most definitely.
Hey, guys, so coming up after the break, we've got a special interview with a guy who works at a cigar shop, and we wanted to shed light on if you've ever wondered what it's like to actually work at a cigar shop. He's actually a manager, and he's going to tell us, everything that goes on behind the scenes, what it takes to run a successful shop. So I don't know if you guys are interested in opening your own shop or what it takes to run a shop, but I thought it was some great information. So we'll have Scott on right after the break, so don't go anywhere. Hey guys, thanks for hanging through the break. I've got special guests. We have the manager of The Leaf with us today. He's one of the best tobacconists that I work with on a regular basis. And when I say work with, I say, hey, find me a new stick. And he brings me something that I always love. So thanks for coming on the show, Scott. How you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you, Rob?
Man, I'm doing good. It's been a busy day, but you know what? Being able to sit down and enjoy a cigar right now, exactly what I needed.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for the Migdalia, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome, man. We're both smoking medallias today. You guys know that I'm smoking at least one of those every day, but I just can't get enough of those. And if you haven't had one, you got to try one and get back to me. I mean, I don't want you to go out and buy one, smoke it, and whether you love it or hate it, I want to know because I think I found like that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I'm loving it. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. I remember when we had the McAuliffe event at the shop, one of the first things that they popped up with was, hey, have you tried this Migdalia in the Corona Extra size? I said, no, I've not had that one. I tried the Toro, and it was great.
Right. Good stick.
Great.
Good stick.
But it was a completely different story. Amazing. Just like, oh my God, I need to have this every morning kind of stick.
Yeah.
And it blew my mind. So almost immediately we were like, we need to put some more on order.
Right.
So.
Yeah, if you haven't tried one, check them out. Shoot me an email and let me know what you think about it. So anyway, let's get to what you do at the Leaf. Well, let's go back a little bit further. I know you have some history before you actually work there right now. Did you used to work there like a long time ago?
I didn't actually work there. I went to school at Hardin-Simmons University about, 2007. I graduated in 2010.
Wow.
But I...
Overachiever.
Right. That's what happens when you take 21 hours a semester,
Right.
plus summer courses and everything like that. But I grew up in this area. I kind of was there, happened by it one day. We were at a Christmas parade, me and my mother. Back in the day, we were doing some volunteer work downtown, dealing with some of the stuff for the Christmas parade.
And in case you people don't know, Abilene has either some sidewalk event or a parade like every week.
Yeah, it's incredible how many
crazy.
parades we have.
Yeah,
But
go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. And so keep in mind, this being Abilene, we had our Christmas parade. It was like the 2nd of December, 2005, 2004, 2000, somewhere around in there.
So
Anyways,
the Leaf was still at the old location.
yeah,
then.
exactly. I mean, it was wonderful. When I first walked up on 2nd and Cypress, and the old location was actually located at 202 Cypress Street. It was the green and beige building, but there was actually a bagpipe player on the corner right there.
A bagpipe player.
Yeah.
Was that for the parade?
Well, it was just a group of guys. There's a bagpipe group in Abilene.
I
actually.
did not know this.
Yeah, just to say, and
Do they smoke cigars?
one of them used to. I don't know if many of the others do. I don't. You know that there's a barbershop quartet with Dave and some of the guys from the shop, right?
Oh, yeah. I did know that. Dave,
yeah.
because he asked Larry to join in.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was kind of that same kind of thing, but it was odd because you don't hear bagpipes a lot in
Yeah.
Abilene. This is not the area for it, but it was wonderful. I love it. I grew up, hearing it off and on, as you do, and I was like, Mom, the Leaf, what's that? Let's go look at, listen to the bagpipes. She goes, oh, that's the cigar shop, and my mother, we're all fairly easy, open,
Cool, man.
way to get around, and she's like, have you ever seen this shop? I was like, no, I've not. I mean, I've only been driving for about a year. I'm underage. She goes, well, that's good because you're underage.
Right.
But since I'm your mother, walk in with me.
And back in the day, you could do that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was.
My dad used to, it just doesn't sound good, but whenever I was like 15, I used to go to the VFW with him.
Yeah.
And, he'd play shuffleboard, drink beer, and I'd
Exactly.
usually be watching or playing the old-timey pinball machine.
Oh, man, I tell you what, the American Legion, I used to go hang out at the American Legion with my dad and my mom. They had pool tables and pinball machines and, the little gambling machines. You get the
Yeah.
coupons to places or whatever. But, yeah, that was kind of the whole thing. We happened by, we were doing our little thing. By the way, they used to refer to it, I don't know if they still do, as a reindeer run downtown Abilene during the parade. It was
Oh, I did
actually
not know
lead
that.
up to that. Yeah, it was a crazy thing. You could go and you get little stamps or little things, and it's like almost like a March for Dimes kind of thing, I think,
okay.
or whatever. But we went in, walked around. It was wonderful. I loved it. My mom was like, yeah, you've never been around somebody who really smoked a cigar. Last time your dad smoked a cigar, you were 3 or 2. And we were
Right.
in Clovis, New Mexico at Cannon Air Force Base.
Wow.
I mean, I remember somewhat seeing cigars around when I was younger, but I did. Actually, I was born out in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Bernalillo County Medical Center. And shortly thereafter, instead of being born on base, the base hospital was actually under construction at the time, so we ended up born at county. But my dad was promoted to a master sergeant when we were at Kirtland, and shortly thereafter, he was...
So you were a military brat for
Yeah,
a while.
yeah. So I grew up, I was born out there in Albuquerque. A couple years in, my dad gets promoted to master sergeant and then to first sheriff. And when we move out to Clovis, stationed at Cannon Air Force Base there for a while.
Now, how old were you while you were in Clovis?
I was 2, 3, and into 4. Technically, we moved to
so you were so
Abilene.
young that you didn't realize it sucked.
right. I had actually fond memories of it because
Sure.
we used to walk through fields to get to
Yeah.
out there in Clovis. If none of you have ever been out there, there's not at the time there was not a whole lot. There's still not a whole
There's
lot.
not a whole lot, but it has grown.
It has grown
some.
dramatically.
I was
actually.
there about
I'm
4 years
surprised.
ago, and I hadn't been there probably for like 15 years, and I was like, holy crap, there's actually a few things around here that didn't used to be.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's
So let's get back to Abilene, and you went into the Leaf with your mom.
and yeah, here I am, 16, 17 years old, in awe.
Yeah.
Just like, oh my God, this is amazing. What is this place? Why have I not found it sooner?
Yeah, it was almost magical because you walked in and there was wood everywhere.
Wood
And
floors,
glass.
wood cabinets, glass, just, I mean, wood tables. There was...
And when you walked in, the smell was just heavenly.
Yeah. Oh, man. If you have not walked into a fresh wood building that is a tobacco shop or a fresh humidor in a while, do yourself a favor. Get off your butt and go into a humidor.
Absolutely.
A walk-in humidor that's done right is amazing.
Well, you know, whenever I was 15, I used to go to the mall in Lubbock, and that's where Smokers Haven was.
Yeah.
And you would walk in there, man, and they did a lot of pipe tobacco.
Absolutely.
But I would walk in there and just be like, wow, this is amazing. And that's actually where I started smoking originally. I started smoking clove cigarettes when I was 15. And, you know, that's just what the cool kids did.
Yeah.
And so Smokers Haven was my first encounter with tobacco, period. And, I mean, and back then, you could smoke in the mall.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You could probably, at the time, you could probably still smoke on planes.
Yeah, you could smoke anywhere. And I tell you what's funny is, and I think I've told this story once before, but whenever I was right out of high school, I went to work for a photography studio, and they had videotapes, the old VHS tapes, and that was your training videos. The guy in the video teaching the class was smoking. He's wearing a brown sport coat and smoking a Marlboro.
There you go. There you go.
So that was your first encounter with the leaf.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I went in with my mother. It was amazing, but at that point, you know, I'm a minor,
right? And
I knew, for fear of getting myself in trouble, my parents in trouble, disappointing them, I was that kid. I did some things that I could have gotten in trouble for. Blah blah blah. I get, you know, disappointed my parents, but something that was, you know, real serious that could have, you know, caused some problems for, you know, Bill Kalame at the time was the owner of the shop, could have caused problems for him, for me, my parents.
Yeah, you were mindful.
I made sure that until I was legal, I did not enter the store.
Once you were of age, though, you started going to the leaf?
Absolutely.
Regularly.
I turned 18 September 17th, which, you know, we just passed my birthday this last Tuesday.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
You were a regular customer at the Leaf. So how did it evolve that you actually came to work for the Leaf?
Well, it was kind of a funny thing. I knew Bill and went to the shop when we were at the old location back in 2006, and I've been a pretty regular customer since then. I was just friendly at the time, you know, and I could help people find stuff in the humidor, pipes or pipe tobacco, blah, blah, blah. And happened to back across Jay one day at the Leaf. And it was about the time I think you were going to work some, but your schedule had changed. I think you worked, maybe 1 or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that at the shop?
Oh, yeah. I worked there on Friday nights.
Yeah.
I worked because I was off on my regular job. I was off on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
And so I started filling in on Friday night.
And when your schedule changed, Jay...
Oh, yeah, you took my place.
Yeah, I took your place because Jay was going to jump in and do it. But he was like, hey, you know, I already work a full-time job and another full job. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. And it was like, okay, well, this guy likes the shop. I know him. Known him for about 5 years, 3 years, something like that. Bill, why don't you give him a shot?
And you had a lot of knowledge on cigars.
I mean, on and off for, at the time, 12 years.
Yeah. I didn't know that you knew that much about cigars before you came to work there. So then when you came to work there on the Fridays, I would come in, and I was like, not expecting you to know a lot, just run the register. And I was like, dang, he actually knows cigars. So, I mean, everybody was happy with that change because it was good to have a tobacconist on hand where, you know, at the time when I started, I really didn't know that much about cigars except for what I smoked.
Yeah.
And back then... Shoot, I don't even know how long ago. That's been a long time ago.
Say,
2 years ago?
2 years, yeah.
2 years ago, I pretty much smoked the same cigars all the time.
Yeah.
Since then, I smoke just about everything.
Oh, yeah. Just to say, everybody at the shop, it's one of those things that You know, we've done a lot. We try to get people to engage.
And isn't it cool that you're at a shop that like the community all grows together? You know what I mean? It's not like
it's wonderful.
Yeah, we have so many different people, but we all are trying different cigars.
Oh yeah.
And it's, to me, you don't see that at a lot of shops, and because a lot of guys come in, they smoke what they smoke.
Exactly.
But at the Leaf, it's kind of cool that the whole cigar community is like on the same page as trying different cigars, and we all talk about them. We know what we like, we know what we don't like, and so it's kind of cool that we have the community that communicates what we're smoking.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I know everybody in every shop talks about, hey, what are you smoking?
Yeah,
but at the Leaf, it's been kind of like we've all grown together
exactly.
as a cigar smoking community.
And that's part of one of the things, you know, and you know, I started out just doing Friday nights, and I was working both the bank and the Leaf. So I would, you know, I'd work a full day at the bank, and you know, 4-5 days a week.
Yeah, basically you just came straight from work.
It was really great because a lot of times I was right across the street, get out of work, and I'd walk across the street, and I would just go to work. And then after I left the bank, I was just kind of hanging out, doing some lawn care service again, just having a little bit of a chill for a bit.
Yeah.
And kids, don't let anybody tell you that that's wrong.
No, absolutely.
If you've got the money to do it, find yourself, go do something you enjoy.
Absolutely.
You know,
I give people that advice all the time because I waited until I was 50 to do what I wanted to do,
there
which
you
is
go.
cigar talk and the events and stuff like that. So, you know, I tell everybody, even though I work a regular job and I put in at least 40 hours a week on that job, I still look forward to my time off because this is what I do.
Jacob left the Leaf. That was the previous guy before me. Great guy. I actually talked to him last night. He's doing really well.
Good.
When he left, Bill asked me, and keep in mind, this is December, or into November, somewhere in there. This was when Bill still owned the shop. He asked me if I wanted to take the days, and I said, sure. You know, I came on. I'd worked a few days for Jacob in the meantime, but I came on working days at the time. And I really learned at that point, you know, hey, this is what we're looking at for orders. This is what we're doing. This is what I need you to do. This is how you run the systems. This is how you skew everything. This is how you do some inputting. This is what I need you to do as a daily thing. You're making coffee. You're looking at this. You're restocking boxes.
Well, the great thing about all that is you learned to do it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was one of those things. It was kind of great because when I first started, Jay actually was the one that worked with me a couple days, and you know, back in high school I had worked at Walmart, so I knew how to face shelves and stuff like that. But you know, it was kind of like whatever. And as I got into it, I really started enjoying this, and so I go through and I skew things, I shelf things, I face things.
But let me tell you, I've been in there when a shipment of like 40 boxes seems like it came in, and before you leave, it's all skewed and on the shelves or put up in back stock.
Well, and that's the thing. That was one of my main things because I used to come in, and nothing against Jacob, but he would get busy.
Yeah, because he had to sit around and smoke a cigarette.
Jacob didn't work at the same pace as most other people. Jacob worked at Jacob's pace, which is not a bad thing. It was Jacob. It was one of those things when I came in and I said, I'm not leaving until the day job is done.
Done, right.
And, you know, we're working through this point in January and February, and Jay is working his absolute butt off. Him and Corey and Bill are trying to get everything together and approvals for loans of purchase and everything to come through. And lo and behold, they finally get a close date and a start date for their business. March 1st, 2019. And at that point, I swear I saw Bill reach down and kiss the ground because he knew his time there was literally there.
He was ready to be done.
He was tired. He'd been doing it for a long time, and he was ready
and
to
Bill's
just
70.
take time. Yeah, he's 70 years old. He's a great guy. If you ever want to debate philosophy or talk philosophy, read some Nietzsche, read some Heidegger and some Hegel, and come down to the shop, grab a smoke and some cup of coffee, and
be
we'll
ready
get
to talk
Bill in.
for a couple hours,
Yeah,
at least.
Him and Ed Sims come in, and they can talk for 2 or 3 hours. They'll go eat lunch in the middle. It's one of those things. It's a good, wholesome conversation. But we'll get more into conversation and stuff here in a little bit. One of
the things I want to point out, though, is people don't realize how much work there is involved at a cigar shop, because, the old adage is, oh, you just sit around smoking cigars all day.
And I do smoke a few cigars a day.
Sure. But even when you are smoking, there's lots of times that you're working. And by working, I mean, you got to realize that when you take out, 6 boxes from a shipment that just came in, there's 120 cigars that have to be skewed one by one. So, and I mean, 6 boxes is not even the most I've seen you have. I mean, I've seen like the table towering like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and then also 5 more boxes on the ground.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it was a really huge thing when Jay first took over. We basically, your big name brands from Padron, Fuente, even Roma Craft, but in the My Father's, into Perdomo, Romeo y Julieta, Monte Cristo, we were anything under the General banner. We were literally just ordering as much as we could at that point to get us back stock and get us, the shelves full. And there were some days where I felt bad for the UPS guy, Josh. Josh is a trooper. He literally would come in with his cart, and he's not a big guy, but he would.
Now Josh is the UPS man.
Yeah, Josh he's a great guy. We would literally be like, Josh, are you okay? Do you need something to drink on your way out? Because you just carried in like 400 pounds of cigars. Then, he would show up at 1:30, 2 o'clock, and I would try to get all of that out by 3. And sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't, because sometimes we'd get busy. So sometimes in those first few, weeks or whatever, getting all of that lined out, I'd be there till 5 o'clock. But it's okay. That's what really drove me to do this. I would sit there with a pad and a pencil, and I would walk through the humidor.
And you did all that before you were the manager.
Yeah, I was just trying to get Jay enough time, because you have to think of it this way. Jay, at the time, he took over the shop, and he was still working a full-time job. And he would come over on lunch, do the deposit up, and run it over.
Right.
And then he'd go home. So I would sit there, and I would take that pad and pencil, and I'd do everything out, and I would write up these huge lists of stuff that we needed, and I would, this many boxes, this type of, thing, this.
And I got to tell you, the real value of what you did, you made, and I'm sure Jay knows this, but you made the transition from Bill owning the shop to Jay owning the shop with very little hiccups, because of your dedication and making sure that what we needed got ordered and what we did have got put out where it's supposed to be. Just as one of the consumers that goes to the Leaf on a regular basis, everybody was impressed.
Oh yeah. And that's one of those things. I think I have 4 or 5 different shipments coming in on my board, because we actually have a board that we write these things down, stuff we need to order, versus me running around with a tablet. I still do that,
right? But you have the board that says what we need to order,
yeah,
what we have ordered, and what should be on its way.
Yeah, exactly. And when we get dates, we write dates up there to let me know, or Jay know, when that thing is going to be there. That way we can literally just be like, boom, we've got these many things coming in. All right, that means Scott's going to be here, or Jay's going to be here. Jay's got to go to his kids. Scott will be here till...
And the Leaf has had experience with not having products that people really want.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't based on the Leaf. It was based on, let's just say LFD back orders.
Yeah.
That's a big problem right now, just because they kind of exploded. And you see the results of people coming in wanting a regular cigar that they always have, and you don't have it. Look at Gary with the Digger.
Yeah, I'll put it this way, guys. One of the things is having a full shelf, and this is one of those things. If you don't have a full shelf, versus a shop that has a full shelf. You could carry they could be identical copies. Shop inventory wise, everything, same prices, everything. If the shelf's not full, or at least semblance of full, that's the difference between a guy buying 1 cigar or 5.
Right.
You know, just because you have the sticks there, if you only have a couple, a person's less likely to take all or take 4 or 5 if they only have 4 or 5. If you've got 20
well, it just also gives the feeling of something not right with the shop. If you go in and like you look and there's 10 boxes and they only have like 2, 3, 4 sticks in them each. Yeah. You guys replenish the boxes before they even get down that low.
Oh yeah, we try to go through, we usually pick a section a day and just kind of walk through it. And if there is a low box, or if there's a stick out of a box, sometimes if we have back stock of that box, I'll just cut it open and I'll put that one stick back in just to make it look like a full box.
And see, that's customer service. I mean, even though you're not directly dealing with the customer at that point, it's still customer service because you're taking care of needs before they become a need.
Exactly.
I think that's one of the things that sets the Leaf apart from a lot of shops. And I tell you this, we've talked about this on the show before. One of the things that sets the Leaf apart from a few of the shops that I've been to, and I won't say all because I've met a lot of great people at a lot of great shops and great tobacconists, but you and Jay are both very good at assisting people pick out cigars. One of the things I see at some of the cigar shops I've been to is when a customer walks in, the person assisting them does all the talking and no listening. And the thing that really sets you and Jay apart is that you basically make an introduction, you welcome them to the shop, but then you start probing them to find out details about their palate. Maybe what they eat, what they drink, what price budget they're looking for. And then you walk them into the humidor and you help them select cigars that are most likely going to be perfect for that individual.
Well, and that's the thing, it's one of those things. When a person walks into your shop, the first thing is you need to say hello. And you don't need to be overly, all up on them, but a big, full, hearty, hey or hello, how are you?
And isn't it great at the shop also that you're at, that not just the people who work there greet?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everybody who's a regular greets people when they come in.
Exactly. And that's part of the wonderful thing about the community of the shop itself. You walk in, I may be in the office doing something, writing out an order. You or, Scott, the other Scott Fritz, or, Gary or Matthew, Paul.
I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, hey, how are you today? Let us know if you need any help. Or, if somebody walks up to the counter and I'm in the office and I'm in the middle of something, I hear, Scott, counter, boom, I can jump up and get the counter.
Right, right.
Because it's out of eye shot. But we can't always be right there.
Sure,
but
you got stuff to do in the background, but you're never like leaving people at the counter waiting.
Exactly.
It's like as soon as you see somebody walk to the counter, if you or Jay's not around, someone will say, "Hey, Jay will be right with you," or "Hey, Scott will be right with you." And when you hear that,
we immediately jump up and go.
Right.
Exactly. But, it's one of those things that we have such a great community out there. One of those things, if you've been into a cigar shop and you're not sure what you want, look for, the employee or find out. Usually they're the ones saying hello first.
Well, and I tell you, how many times one of your customers actually goes back with another customer to help them find a cigar.
Oh yeah,
because it's that open of a community.
Absolutely, I've seen you do it, and you're usually on the run when you're doing it. You've got to make it to Sweetwater or out to Temple or wherever, and I've seen you be like, Scott, I'll be right back. Can you ring me up? And I'm actively ringing your cigars up, and I just put you on hold until you run back to the counter. But you're showing the guy where you got a stick, or I've seen Scott do it. I mean, we actually have Scott come in and work from time to time. And then, that's one of those awesome things. That's the community we have at the shop. Don't be scared to talk to people when you go into a shop. If you're not sure, just ask.
Now, I got to ask you this, because how, when I think about Jay, I think of a genuinely kind individual.
Oh, he's so wholesome, so
you know
awesome.
what I mean? But he has this kindness about him.
Oh, he does.
Doesn't he make you feel guilty?
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I've gotten, I'm really, I'm fairly nice to people that I don't know when they come in the shop. I'm fairly nice to people that I do know when they come in the shop. But you all know Bryant.
Right.
Bryant can come into the shop, and pardon me if I, offend some of you, but he'll come in and say, yeah, I want a coffee. And I'll look at him and go, get your own damn coffee.
Right.
It's just, we've grown to that kind of,
Right. We're family. So how long have you been the manager now there? Did you say March?
Let's see. Yeah, March is when Jay took over. So early March, maybe mid-March to early April. That was when the whole transition was going on, and I was just, at that point, I was doing anything and everything I could because, like I said, Jay was working a full-time job.
The feeling that I get from all this is if you think it's easy running a cigar shop, wow, you're missing it because it is a full-time job.
Absolutely, and I love it.
And I mean, a lot of guys, including myself, have fantasized about owning a shop. But if you think that you're just going to go hang out and chit chat with guys all day that are smoking cigars, that's not what running a shop is about.
It's not, and it's really one of those things. I mean, yeah, you can do that. I mean, if you want to sit there and it's going to do one of two things.
If you want to go out of business.
Yeah, either you're not going to make any profit because you're not doing what you need to do, or you're going to run yourself out of money because all you're going to do is flat order.
Right.
And, yeah, I could go and just say, hey, Jay, we need one of everything. Well, that kind of defeats the purpose. You're trying to find what sells the best, what's going to make you a profit, and what is going to be the absolute best thing you can serve to your customers.
Right. And that takes a lot of talking to your customers, takes a lot of seeing what's selling, what to do with what's not selling.
Yeah.
Because if something's not selling, you got to get it off the shelf you can make space for something new.
Whether we blow it out or we deband it and throw it in a sampler bag, and you've seen us do a few of those, just try to get something off the shelf, and I mean,
I love those, by the way.
Oh, I know.
Because it's like, holy crap, those are in that bag?
Yeah, I know. They're wonderful smokes. I don't know why people weren't buying them. And it's not like they weren't clearly marked. We had banners. We had, everything there. The nice, serene, picturesque boxes.
Well, you know as well as anyone that cigars can be trendy.
Yeah.
What's
Absolutely.
hot today may not be hot tomorrow. And so, like the cigars that you have in the bargain bin right now, I don't think anybody even knew that those cigars were in there because they were never looking for them. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing. When we first got those, they did really well. I'm not going to tell you what they are. But
No, I know what they are.
You
That's
know
why
what they are.
I buy a lot of them.
But when we first got them, they were good. And then we ordered a lot. And then they just kind of petered off.
Yeah.
So
Well, what's funny? Before y'all put those in the bargain bin, I had actually bought one like maybe 3 days before that.
Yeah, I know.
And I didn't realize that we still had those. I was just kind of nosing around and came across them. I was like, I didn't know we still had these.
Oh, yeah.
Great smokes.
They are wonderful.
So if you're in Abilene, definitely check out the bargain blowout bin because those are some gems that nobody knows about. And they take off the bands in respect to the brand, which I admire that because you don't want to devalue the brand because they're great cigars.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good.
But I can give you a $5 or $6 cigar that's just out of this world. Mm-hmm. I mean, you actually, Rob, turned me on to
The La Galera.
La Galera, Connecticut.
Great
Oh
stick.
my God,
Great stick. And I think the Robusto's like $5.50.
Yeah, $5.50, and I think it's $6.50 or something like that for the
Toro.
Toro.
Yeah.
And man, just wonderful. One of the best, if not the best.
It's
Connecticut
one of
I've
my
ever had.
favorite morning cigars with coffee.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's like a lot of times I'll come into the shop and I'll be like, I go in and I look around, I look at my usual go-tos, and then I go, you know what? I'm fixing to have a cup of coffee. I really want that stick. And even though I smoke it and I love it, sometimes the price point at $5.50 makes me think I want to pick out something better.
Oh, yeah.
And then you come back to it and go, you know what? It's pretty damn good.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I say, just have your local shop just get you something off the shelf.
Yeah. Well, I do that too up in Lubbock at Good Karma with Brad.
Yeah.
Brad really knows my palate well, like you and Jay.
Yeah.
And so I know when I go in there, he's the one that turned me on to the Corojo Aganorsa Leaf. And I'd never had that before, and I loved it.
At the Miami or Casa Fernandez Corojo is a wonderful smoke. And then the Maduro, you actually turned me on to the Maduro as well.
But you know what I just brought back from Dallas is the Aganorsa Leaf Maduro Signature Series. And I haven't smoked it yet.
Oh, man.
Which
Yeah.
is unusual for me because I don't save cigars.
Yeah, well, it's like me going to Fredericksburg last week.
Yeah, you came back with all kinds of good cigars.
Yeah, I bought two. I went and saw Bob down in Fredericksburg at Tobacco
Bob's
House.
a great shop owner too, by the way.
It's Tobacco House off of Washington and Maine. If you've never been there and you're in Fredericksburg, go.
Yeah,
give
let me
Bob
say
a
this:
shout.
Fredericksburg is a huge tourist attraction. And if you go down there, there's like wineries. You can go do the taste testing with wine.
Oh, God, there's like 10
Then
of
there's
them.
like 50 million shops that your wife is probably going to want to go to. So when your wife goes shopping, go down to the Tobacco House and hang out with Bob, smoke cigars, watch some golf on the big screen TV. He's got drinks, he's got wine, he's got beer.
Yeah.
Great shop to go hang out at.
And it's just a small kind of little.
And did you
shop
love
there.
the chairs? Did you sit down on those
I didn't
old
get a chance to
English
sit down.
chairs? Dude, man, he's got some old English chairs that look like they're from like 1930.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Like it's just a small little shop.
Yeah.
I was only there so I left my girlfriend and my parents in my truck, and I pulled.
Oh,
in.
so you literally left them in the car.
I literally the way the parking lot is structured, you kind of go down this hill kind of thing, and there's the parking spots on the sides.
Right.
All those were full, and I had pulled up straight to the end parking lot
Gotcha.
or the parking spot, and then somebody pulled out behind me, so I just backed up my truck right there, threw them my keys, and ran.
And that's how busy Fredericksburg is. All the parking everywhere. And you know what I don't like about Fredericksburg is when you're going down Main, all the cars parked in at a diagonal angle, you never know when someone's going to throw it in reverse and just back up.
Yeah, because they can't see you there.
No, there's no way they can see you.
And but yeah, so I toss them my keys, and I jump out and I run up there, and I introduce myself to Bob. Hey, Bob, I'm Scott from the Leaf. He's like, oh, I've heard of the Leaf. Yeah. I was like, well, Bill Claim. He's like, oh, I know Bill. Like, yeah, Bill sold the shop back in March. March 1st, Jay Patterson and Corey Anderson took over. You mind if I go take a look at your humidor? And, that's another thing. If you're a customer, you don't have to ask to go see the humidor.
Right.
Okay? It's there for a reason. But being somebody who's in and out of a shop all the time, and that that's where I come from, every time I go to a shop, since I always introduce myself, I always let them know, hey, this is what I do. I always ask, hey, is it cool if I go look at your humidor?
Right.
And
and I'll tell you this, I think even regular customers should do that. And not so much because you're asking permission, but it's be like, hey, can you give me a tour of your humidor?
Oh, yeah.
And that way you have someone with experience to take you in there and show you around.
Absolutely. You come into my shop, and if you... I'll put it this way. If you are on a mission and you know what you're looking for,
then you don't need my help.
I'm going to say hello when you walk in. You're going to bolt to the humidor or wherever you're going. If you look at a cabinet up front, I'm going to ask you need help because they're all on, server side. So I have to actually get it for you.
Right.
But if you bolt for the humidor or the pipe tobacco, I'm going to let you go.
Right. And you know what I love about asking the tobacconist at the shop is, do you have anything new?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Something I haven't tried before. I used to be in that same rut where I pretty much smoked forever. I smoked the LFD Cabinet 6.
Cab 6.
And then I also smoked forever the Partagas Blacks. And those are great smokes. But
absolutely.
I am so glad that that's not all I smoke.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I love being able to change cigar to cigar for different taste with different coffees or bourbons
Oh,
or
yeah.
scotch. And so to me, it just opens up a whole new world.
Oh yeah, well, like just as an example, when I went to Fredericksburg and talked to Bob, I asked him to go in his humidor. He said, "Yeah, sure, go check it out, man." I went in and I just grabbed 2 of almost everything that we don't have at the shop currently.
Yeah, I saw your bag. It's a nice bag.
Yeah, my bag, and then I split it and I gave a bag to Jay, and that's why I got 2 of everything. And, it was like, oh, well, here's a God of Fire 2010 Don Carlos, of which I smoked this morning.
Oh,
that was my starter stick.
That's the way to start out a day, brother.
Right. And then I got the Oliva V Melanio Maduro. Have you ever had one of those?
I have.
Man, that is
Silky
just
smooth.
so good. Of which I didn't know at the time. This is funny. Aside to this, I walk in and I show Jay this, and he goes, "Holy cow! I just ordered those."
Oh, really?
Yeah. So soon we'll be getting those.
Nice.
But then like a Christoph 685 Woodlawn in the Figurado size.
See, I saw that in your bag.
Yeah.
I have not smoked that one yet. Have you smoked it?
No, I haven't. I'll
Okay.
probably grab it tomorrow.
Nice.
And that'll be my starter stick, and then I'll probably.
It's a good looking stick.
Yeah, if I don't jump into something else in my bag of tricks there that I got, I may smoke this 26 if I don't today.
Well, hey, man, we appreciate you coming by.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for coming.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the interview with Scott. Man, I tell you what, he has a lot of knowledge, and he doesn't look very old. When you look at him, don't you think he looks young?
Yes. 100%.
So to have that much knowledge about cigars and pipe tobacco impresses me. Anyway, let's get to this week's Luxury Cigar Club Winner of the Week. And so anyway, I want to talk a minute about the Luxury Cigar Club because this has been my favorite month of cigars, bar none.
Yeah.
Last month, I thought they rocked it with the God of Fire in the box.
Yes.
But this Steve Zaka cigar, are you aware that that's a $20 stick?
Yes, I am.
And then you throw in that signature cigar from Hiram Solomon.
That's still in my humidor.
Yeah, I heard you. But, dude, this was an $82 box.
For 50.
For 50.
For 50.
I mean, if you guys aren't signing up for these guys, I mean, you're just spending money and it's not just the cigars. It's the experience every month that I get to have when I open a box of cigars that I didn't pick, but I know they're great sticks. You know what I mean?
100%. It's a blessing. It's something that, like we say, we look forward to it like Christmas. And once it comes, you look in the box and you're like, oh my goodness, man.
And I could be mistaken, but I think Junior has 2 subscriptions.
Yeah, he does.
He gets double what we get.
Yeah, he does. And one he sets back, and then he smokes the other.
Oh, now, you know what would be cool? I can't do this because I don't save cigars. But wouldn't it be cool if you had 2 subscriptions and you put all of them up for a year on one of the boxes and then smoke the other one?
Yeah.
That
You're
would
talking
be
about
cool,
that
man.
next year. Ooh, man. You have a plethora
Hey.
just like,
You're thinking I'm genius, aren't you?
yeah, for a moment. For a moment.
So, anyway, we want to announce this week's Luxury Cigar
Yes, we
Club
do.
winner, and it is Wendell Jackson. Hey,
Wendell.
finally a last name that I can pronounce. We've been getting some tricky ones.
Yes, we have. Yes,
So
we
anyway,
have.
congratulations to Wendell. Enjoy your box, man. Let us know what you think about it after you get them. We're going to be talking about what we get coming out next month.
Yes, sir.
So if you win right now, you'll be signed up. Oh, and that's something else. I talked to Chris today, and if you are one of the winners, then your time frame on that is 30 days. So if you win, you can't wait 6 months
And then
get your box.
Yeah.
So make sure you're getting it within 30 days of winning. So anyway, that was just a little public announcement there for Luxury Cigar Club. Anyway, guys, how's that cigar going?
man, it's still great.
How far are you through there?
I'm in my last third now.
I'm smoking this 8 from Renegade, and I tell you what, man, I'm loving it. And if I would have told you 2 years ago I'd be smoking a 46 ring gauge,
I wouldn't believe it.
not a chance.
I wouldn't believe it.
Not a chance.
Not Mr. Everything Big in Texas.
Yeah, so and I like that band.
Yeah, because all is on there is the Roman numeral set.
Well, if you
8.
look real small, it says Renegade Cigar Lounge on the side.
Oh, I did not see it. Okay.
Yeah. But it's a cool looking band. It's a great looking stick. I was impressed. In fact, I sent him a message this morning and was like, dude, nice cigars.
Yeah.
So, hey, you know what? You need to go with me up there. Charlie Cranky Buzzard was there, and he was asking, where's Bryant? And I was like, well, this was an unexpected trip.
Yep.
But
And I was caught out, taking care of family business.
Oh, okay. Everything all right?
Yeah, she's doing good.
Good.
She's my oldest daughter, she's making that decision to go to Kuwait as a contract security.
Hey, you know what I want you to do?
What's that?
Call her up and tell her, make a decision already.
Yeah, because she's still back and forth between Kuwait and Cuba. So,
well, let's see. You know what? I would go to Kuwait.
Yeah,
and if I was going to pick between the two, just because you're not going to Havana.
Nah.
Guantanamo Bay is not Havana.
Nowhere near.
So if I'm going to pick between Kuwait and Guantanamo, I'm going to Kuwait. First of all, you'll be able to get cigars in Kuwait.
Yeah, but she knows her daddy wants to come to Cuba, though. So
yeah, but you don't want to go to Guantanamo.
No.
So anyway, guys, hey, and while we're talking about what we want, the Cowboys are 2-0.
Here we go. So are the 49ers.
I saw that, and I don't know how good the Bengals are, but your boys look good.
Yes.
They look real good.
I have to say Garoppolo surprised me this time.
I was impressed. I only saw the highlights, and I was impressed. Now, how about, did Sherman have a good game?
Yes.
I mean,
he's older, but that knowledge and that wisdom.
I was going to say, he's older, but he plays smarter.
And that's the thing about it with a human being. If you could match the old mind with that young body, you'd be perfect. And now his body is starting to show, especially after that Achilles tendon situation he had. His wisdom is just outrageous now, man. The guy's in perfect spots, and I'm just looking. I was like, look at Sherman, man.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing, though. You can't be that smart when you're young, but you have the physical skill set. You don't have to be. Nope. And it's like you always think, if I had the wisdom when I was younger that I have now, but it just doesn't work that way.
It doesn't. That's why I spit so much knowledge. I try to spit so much knowledge into my son, because at 24, he has the physicality now, and I just want him to have that wisdom. Even if you don't do those things, just to have enough understanding of life to just live your life. Live your life. Right. Don't try, because he told me one time, he said, I just want to be like you. No, make people forget about me. Right. I don't want to be Lil B's dad. I want to be.
You need me to call him and tell him all the reasons he doesn't want to be like you.
Bro, he dresses like me.
Hey, but he looks better than you.
I have to say yes.
Hey, so, and this will bring up another, and this is off topic. But I was on Facebook today, and the big rage on Facebook right now, because we know a lot of quarterbacks got hurt this week.
Oh, my God, did you see that, man?
I did. I mean, you have Breeze went out.
Roethlisberger
went out, and then the quarterback up at the Jets.
Yeah, he was up. Well, the starter, Donald, was already out with mono.
But now,
and then the backup. Did you see that hit, though? I swore he had broke his ankle, man.
I heard it look bad.
Oh, I swear. And then he got up and just limped off.
That's
I was like,
what I heard. Oh, in fact, Joel at the shop was talking about it. He said it looked like his foot had turned sideways.
Yes, it did. And he just got up and walked off like it was not. I was like, man, me now?
Shock.
Yeah, true.
Hey, so here's the reason I bring that up.
Okay.
Is because I see all these people talking about, now we'll get Kaepernick back. No. The fat lady has sung. She ain't tuning up. She might come in for an encore, but she sung. All right, because let's go back. And I know you're a Kaepernick fan because you're a 49er fan. But here's the thing about Kaepernick. He hasn't played since 2016.
Yep.
His last 2 seasons he did play, he had a QBR rating under 50 both years in a row. And I know you're going to say they got rid of his line, they got rid of his wide receivers.
But we also had the worst coach ever. He had already destroyed the Eagles.
Okay.
And then he came over there and destroyed us.
All right. But let's just say it's been 5 years
Yeah.
since he's had a good
He's
season.
at 5.
5 years. Kaepernick is done. In fact, he's not in Cabo working out in case the phone rings.
Oh, he is
he's
working
living his no.
He's
He's
working
not
out.
football working out.
No, he's not football working out. No, because
I could
that's
tell
a
you
that's a different mindset.
I can tell you I'm working out.
But you're not football working out. Nowhere near.
You're not even working out. Come on, let's be real. So that's
Yeah.
I said that to the people who post. I'm sure they, how people are passionate, man. People get passionate about Kaepernick. But the thing about it is, a lot of people have all that side issue with his political statements and all that. And you know what? I'm not even going in and touch that. I'm just talking about statistically. The last 2 years were horrible, and then he hasn't played for 3 years.
Okay.
Are you bringing him to the 49ers?
We don't need him now.
Well, all right.
We
Let's
don't
say
need him now.
Garoppolo goes down.
I would love to have him there.
Oh.
You know why? Because of his physical assets. I just have to be real with it. The gentleman had an ability that I only saw 2 quarterbacks before him have, and that was Randall and Vic.
Let me tell you something.
Come on.
If you speak Kaepernick's name in the same breath as the other two you just mentioned, get the hell out of here. Get the hell. No.
He did something
Dude,
I can say
no.
those other two didn't do.
What?
He took them to the bowl. He took us to the bowl.
Did he win?
If they hadn't turned the lights out on us.
They didn't win. But no, come on, man. Randall Cunningham, not even close. Randall is so far above him.
He does not have their gun. I can say that. He
Dude.
does not have either one of their guns.
And he's not near as mobile. Dude, Cunningham looked like an acrobatic, amazing genius out on the field. Do you realize he scrambled one time against the Cowboys for 14 seconds?
Against who?
The Cowboys.
Those cows.
He beat us. You know what? I loved Randall Cunningham because he was an amazing player.
Yeah, he was.
I hated him because he was an Eagle, but he was amazing. And then you talk about Michael Vick.
Yeah.
Dude, the things. No, dude, you can't even. I can't even say.
Ask Green Bay about it.
Exactly.
They all chased him that night.
Ask the Redskins about him.
No,
Monday Night Football, or was that the Giants?
that was the Giants.
Oh,
but
it
then
was like 55-0 in the first quarter.
But the problem with that also is you had a better defense with the Giants at that time. But when you wanted to bring up the Redskins, how did they destroy a quarterback too?
Are you asking me a quiz?
No, everybody saw that. There was no reason for RG3 to be in that game.
Yeah.
There was no reason.
No,
there was no reason, and that destroyed that man's. His career was done after that.
Oh, absolutely. They completely abused him and they ruined his career. But I also say this: I was a huge fan of RG3 when he was with Baylor.
Yeah, he was Texas.
Well, right, but I don't think that he had the physical stature to take punishment in the NFL.
Yeah, because he was trying to be a runner too.
Well, no. I agree with you there. But even if he was in the pocket, if they would have used him as a pocket passer, I think he had the arm strength, the accuracy, all that goes with that. But I don't think he had the physical stature to take any kind of punishment in the backfield if he was getting sacked on a regular basis, which the reason he was running was because he was avoiding sacks a lot of the time.
Yep.
So I thought he was a great college quarterback. I don't think he translated to the NFL just because he didn't have that solid stature that a lot of the quarterbacks today have. You know what I mean?
You have to have it, and without it, you're not going to last. You're not going to last. You'll be a 1 or 2 season wonder.
Right.
And that's the problem today. These players are bigger and faster.
Well, and a lot of people say, because of the rules, it's all about the quarterback. You know why these rules were put in place? Because the defensive guys got bigger, stronger, and faster.
Yep.
So, they had to do something, or these guys would be being carried out on a stretcher every week.
As we saw last week.
Right.
As we saw last week. And last night. Did you see that game last night?
No, I didn't.
Oh, man. I can't. Barrett. He's a defensive lineman for Cleveland. Man, he lived in the Jets backfield last night.
Really?
Lived in there,
Well,
man.
I saw a live video on Instagram from Gary Vee. You know, I'm a huge fan of his.
Yeah.
He was at the game.
Oh.
And he's a huge Jets fan.
Uh-huh.
His ultimate goal is to buy the Jets. he says it every week. But anyway, he was sitting there wearing his Jets toboggan, and he just looked like someone had punched him in the stomach.
Because they had no offense, man.
Yeah.
The defense was trying to hold as long as they could. And you know as well as anybody that understands football, a defense can only stand for so long. As long as they're on the field, they get wore down. They get wore down because the defense reacts.
90 miles an hour.
And they're
every play.
reacting. They're reacting off what the offense knows what they're going to do. The defense is reacting off of it. And the longer you stay on the field, the slower your reaction gets. And in the beginning, it was an ugly game because it was all about defense because neither one of them had offense. But that Jets defense stayed on the field for so long, man. It was just like you were wondering, okay, when is it going to break? When is it going to break? When is it going to break? And then all of a sudden, OBJ and Baker Mayfield just, okay, this is what we've been talking about all summer long. And they showed.
Right.
It showed.
Hey, so let me just say, this is not a sports show.
Nope.
This is not a football show. But I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction right now who's going to win the Super Bowl. You ready?
Okay, here we go.
No, you think you know.
Okay, so now I'm going to be really surprised then. I'm listening.
Well, you're not going to be surprised.
Okay,
because you probably already know, too.
Who?
The Patriots. Dude. You got Brady, Josh Gordon, and AB.
Yeah.
And then you have Edelman to run across the middle.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. I mean,
it's a 7-on-7 with them. And I've been saying that for the last 5 years.
It's a 7-on-5.
Yeah.
That's about what it adds up to.
It's 7-on-7. It's 7-on-7 football. And he sits back there. And with the rules, I could see him playing as long as he says he wants to play because they're going to keep those quarterbacks standing. They're trying to keep those quarterbacks standing.
It's also the scheme that
and
Belichick.
He sits back there. He knows that I hate them.
I know you're not a fan. I'm not a fan.
If the Cowboys were playing the Patriots, I'm cheering for the Cowboys.
Wow,
that's how bad I hate the Patriots. But
if it makes you feel better, I'd be going for the Cowboys as well,
as usual. But it's today's game. He could do it. Yes, today's game he could do it. Now you go back to
but I also say this: one of the reasons for his longevity is quick decisions and quick throws.
Yeah, because that's all. They took the West Coast offense and perfected it.
Right.
They perfected it. Those short routes across the middles with the smaller receivers that are quicker.
He's never had the receiving core like he has now.
Well, when he had Randy there,
that was one,
and that's when they almost went undefeated. Yeah,
right. But now he has AB on one side and Josh Gordon on the other. If Josh Gordon can stay, you
keep the weed and the women away, you'll be able.
Right.
I'm talking about both of them.
But talk about, just stacked. And then you got Edelman running across the middle.
Yeah.
Dude, before they had those other two wide receivers, Edelman was go-to on the outside, and he was amazing.
And you factor in there Belichick's cheating, so yeah, I can see them winning another.
And I think Edelman's like 4'2". And dude, he's impressive. He's like one little just wad of muscle.
Yes,
have you seen that dude?
Yes, I have.
I don't know how tall he really is, but he's pretty small.
Yes,
but he is just like packed, tight muscle.
And that's what it comes down to in today's NFL.
All right, man. Anyway, that's enough about football. Cowboys are 2-0. I know your team's 2-0 too. Hey, did the Rams did beat New Orleans, right?
They had to.
Right. So Casey is now 1-1.
Yeah, he was upset. We were up there at the Leaf watching it.
Oh,
he was upset.
Really?
He walked in with all his Aints gear on, and he was yelling at first, and then when Breeze went down, like I said, there were a few series where what's his name? I can't think of his name now. Bridgewater looked good, but it was just like. It wasn't consistent.
Practice.
Yeah,
right.
It wasn't consistent, and it just turned his whole demeanor.
How long is Breeze out for?
They're thinking 6 weeks.
Okay. What injury did he have?
In his thumb.
Oh, okay.
And he had surgery on it too.
Was it his hitchhiking thumb or?
Yeah, it was the throwing
hand.
His throwing hand because Donald was coming in going after his hand, and Breeze threw, and when he followed through with the throw, his hand went right into Donald's hand, and it was the thumb.
Gotcha.
And you could see when he hit, he dropped down. He's like, I said, "Oh, got him." Got him.
I didn't get to see that. In fact, I only watched half of the Cowboy game.
Oh.
I was in Dallas at the Renegade Lounge.
Yeah.
I watched the first half, and then we went next door to the 1050 barbecue place next door. Oh, did you see the picture I posted?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh, dude, I got a chopped beef sandwich, and then I got their beans and their potato salad. But what really is just like the icing on the cake is the jalapeno poppers stuffed with brisket. Oh, man.
That sounds delicious.
Dude, it was fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't get dessert. I hear rumor.
How could you?
Right? So I heard rumor, though, that their banana pudding was just amazing. And I will say this. Their beans are amazing. It's it's almost like half beans and half brisket.
Okay.
I mean, it's like a lot of meat in there. Now, I got to say, their potato salad was not for me. I didn't care for it. I told my wife last night, I grew up on white trash potato salad. Do you know what that is?
No, I don't.
It's a potato salad with a lot of mustard.
No. Oh, well, I grew up on that.
Well, maybe you're white trash.
No, I may be trash.
So, yeah, I told my wife, I said, that potato salad was too fancy for me. So, anyway. Hey, well, let's talk about the McAuliffe Ambassador Program.
Yes, sir.
You know we talk about it every week. And you know what? I got my coin. It's over there.
Okay.
I was going to take a picture with it earlier, and I forgot.
That number is kind of heavy, isn't it?
Yeah, it loads me down. But, no, these guys, they know how to give great customer service.
Oh, yes.
And I even hate to use the word customer service with McAuliffe because even though it is great customer service, it's more like family.
That's what I was going to say. They know how to treat the family.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not. And I see in the Facebook ambassador group the way that Dan and Paul and David all communicate with the ambassadors. I mean, they're not just saying, hi, buy McAuliffe cigars. They are actually involved and building relationships, and they're part of the community. They're not these salespeople getting on there saying, buy McAuliffe. You know what I mean? They actually care about the ambassadors.
Like that post I put in there, and then Dan came in ragging on you.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Did you like my
Yes,
Kermit
I
the Frog?
did.
I like
Yeah,
to
I
start
did.
trouble. So, but I mean, that's
what it's about.
Dude, other companies don't do that.
No.
You know what?
You rarely hear from them, and you're part of their Facebook group, and you rarely hear from them.
Right. And you know what? I mean, even on Instagram, like when I'm smoking a cigar, I'll tag whatever manufacturer it is. If you're lucky, they just say, hey, thanks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no communication. There's no relationship there. So that's why I want to say, it is customer service at its highest level, but it's more than that. It's relationships.
Yes, sir.
And so I don't know of another cigar company either that has a line of cigars as massive as what McAuliffe does. Now I take that back. I mean, if you look at some of the big chains,
but
like
they've
Rocky
been in the
Patel,
they've been not McAuliffe, Monte Cristo and them, because they've been in the game a long time.
Well,
but you look at McAuliffe,
those are all big corporations.
Yes.
This is almost a brick and mortar type manufacturer. You know what I mean? It's like you're going in a mom and pop shop, but they're the manufacturer. So I just want to say we're so thankful to have these guys as our sponsor. They're doing a great job. And, we are very fortunate that this relationship turned into what it has.
Yes.
Because, we could have ended up with a sponsor that, I was just like, whatever. But, and I feel that way about a lot of cigar companies. I don't want to be negative about people. And so I'm not. Mom said, can't say nothing nice.
Don't say anything at all.
Right. So, but anyway, I just can't say enough about how personable these guys are.
Oh, most definitely.
So if you're not a member, look down below this episode. You'll see a link that says Become a McAuliffe Ambassador.
Yes.
Click on it. It's free. You register. They send you your own coin with your own number, and then also a handwritten certificate. I mean, that's the level of care they give you guys.
It's your number forever.
That's right. So anyway, let's move on. The West Texas Cigar Fest. We want to talk about that for a minute. In April of 2020, at the Train Car Cigar Bar in Big Spring, Texas, we are putting on a charity event for the Cigars for Warriors. But anyway, we're going to be doing that. We're going to have a lot of cigar vendors there. We're going to have live music there. We're going to have a VIP section where you're going to be catered to. You're going to have scotch and bourbon to try. We're going to have somebody there pouring your drinks for you. Me and Bryant's going to be hanging out. We're probably going to try to do a little bit of the show while we're there. Got a lot of friends coming in town for that event. It's going to be awesome.
Yes, it is.
I've already talked to several people who's like, hey, man, when can I sign up? I actually, we have the website purchased. We don't have it up and running yet. It'll be westtexascigarfest.com.
Okay.
And so I'm hiring a couple of people to get that website up and running. As soon as we do, we'll make that announcement.
Okay.
And tickets will go on sale, should be the middle of October. From the middle of October until December 31st, you'll get a big discount if you order before December 31st.
Okay.
Then after that, it'll be regular prices. We'll have a general admission and a VIP.
Okay.
So we're looking forward to that. It's going to be huge.
Yes, we are.
So anyway, man, I think that wraps it up. Oh, one more thing.
Oh,
I've got a special guest coming on next week. His name is Mr. Hacker.
okay.
And he has written, I know, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. But anyway, he's written a couple of books. One is everything you could possibly want to know about cigars.
Oh.
He's an expert on all things cigars. He's
Okay.
also an expert on pipe tobacco, and he's an expert on spirits. He's got books out on all these.
Okay.
And so we're going to have him on the show next week. Ought to be a great interview. I always like having the opportunity to learn something new that I don't know.
Yes.
So anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. And until next week,
Keep smoking.